And welcome to Yin Yoga. I'm Christy. Let's take a nice breath. Working on being present, feeling your body, feeling how you're positioned. How is that for you? What's going on in the body today, in this moment? So maybe even just feeling your hands on your legs, feeling yourself sitting on the floor. Observe your breath. And how's your stress in this moment? How's it been lately? Just thinking about it just makes me want to take a deep breath. So sacral chakra, where is about creativity. So letting go of the things that are holding us back, right? So the sense of everything just being kind of stagnant in the body. So sacrum, back of the pelvis. So just imagining all that energy freeing up so that we're able to move our legs and our spines more easily. All right, so the color orange is associated with, I think that's right. Red, orange, yeah. Orange is associated with the sacral chakra. So maybe like working a little bit with orange, just see what comes to you. So again, the sense of flow. Other people are always telling us what to do and what to think and how to behave and what's, good and what's bad. And all right, we just in yoga, we just want to see what's true for ourselves. So we're going to start with, I forgot this part. I forgot to tell you this part. We're going to start with a strap. We're going to work on hamstrings. So if you have a strap that you can put into a loop, if your legs are tight, you need a longer strap. It took me a long time to get to a smaller loop. So if you don't have one that works for you, we're going to try to do leg hammock. But if you don't have one that works for you, you can also do a seated wide leg fold, and you're just going to fold over one leg at a time, and you can put props. That just felt good, so I'm going to do the other side too. You can put props under your arms, so if you have pillows or blocks, you can do that. With leg hammock, I don't know why, it's weird, I think, but I often like to have a block underneath my head, even though the head's in the strap. I don't know why, it's just sort of soothing and comforting to me. Even though my head is like barely hitting the block usually. So if you've got a strap, you want to loop it. We're going to put one end across the sole of the right foot. So I'm going to come back. I'm going to start with my head on the block. All right. And maybe arms past head. So you want the loop to go across the sole of the foot. It can go across the arch of the foot, or it can go across the ball of the foot. And then we're going to take the other end. So you don't want the strap hanging down, this loose end hanging down in your face. If it's really long, you can make like a little loop there, kind of tie it up a bit. But it's nice to be able to adjust it if it's too small a loop or too big a loop. We're going to put it around the back of the head. All right, what is my timer? Right there. Okay, so you're trying to get, I don't like it with glasses because I feel like it squishes my glasses into my head. So you're trying to get this balance, right? Where the weight of the head and the weight of the leg, everything, they're kind of holding each other in place here. So again, I can hang out here. You want this to be on the back of your head and not on your neck. Let's start the timer. And so if I put a block under there, it's just kind of barely touching. But you may find that you're going to kind of bring your arms overhead and let your head come down a little bit more. Your arms can move around here as we're hanging out. They can be at shoulder height, they can be in tight, or you can try to bring them past your head and just see how that goes. I don't usually keep them there for terribly long. So your free leg, the left leg, that could be out along the floor, but that'll usually make it a little more intense. So what I'm finding here is if I haven't put the sole of my foot on the floor, I'm kind of collapsing here. The strap's sliding on my head's really dropping down. I'm not feeling that balance anymore. So that may not be your case, but I'm just finding that I'm liking the left leg to be out straight here. And then you want to breathe. So this sense of letting go. So we're starting with hamstrings because they do attach to the pelvis, but also because they tend to be really tight for most of us. So there can be some bend in your knee. The leg doesn't have to be pushed out straight. You may find in this pose that you get that shaking. I don't really know what that is, right? When things are tight and it just shakes and it's really uncomfortable. If that's happening, I will sometimes just take my hands and press against the leg because I find that shaking really annoying. So if that's happening to you, you can take one or both hands and just kind of press your thigh out a little bit to stop it from shaking so much. Or, anything that works for you if you want to kind of hold the leg. So starting to imagine this tightness, letting go, releasing out. So maybe it's like you're going to feel that energy from the sacrum, from the back of the pelvis, starting to release out through the legs. So whether you're in leg hammock or you're doing that wide leg fold, well, imagining all that tension flowing out through the leg. If you feel like you need to massage the leg a little bit, you can do that. So if you just want to kind of connect with the leg and see how it's feeling, give the leg a little bit of comfort, especially if it's feeling a little tight, a little uncomfortable. We're avoiding anything that's painful, right? So you're going to back it up, take a break, let it go if it's painful. Just if it's a little bit uncomfortable, try to give it a little comfort. And then where else can you let go at the same time? So what's happening in your jaw? I've been having all this tension in my mouth last week, and then I realized it's my toothpaste. I changed toothpaste and it's irritating. It's making my tongue swell up a little bit. So I thought it was just by stress and tension, and then all of a sudden it occurred to me, it's the toothpaste. And the minute I changed it, everything started to feel better. But anyway, so sometimes we think that we're just stressed and tense, and sometimes it can be this, something, we're eating, or, something we're putting on our bodies. So sometimes, something may be irritating and causing more stress and tension in the body and inflammation. So we're going to try to let all of that go. I'm breathing all of that kind of stuff out, letting it flow out through your leg. All right, we're gonna let this side go. So I like to take the strap off of my head first. Oh, and then let your leg come on down. So again, this can be anywhere that feels right for you, but after having the leg up, I like to let it stretch out along the floor. You might want to bring arms overhead here. The baby's even kind of pushing your feet out from your hips. Nice long spine, wiggle your toes. Maybe move the ankles a little bit, move your feet around. And see if you, so if you're in a seated forward fold, same thing. You can maybe stretch out on your back and let those legs lengthen out. And just see, how does it feel? Feel like that leg we just worked on, it's like it's longer, it's like it's alive. This one feels like a little, like nothing's really happening in it, right? Like it's just there. And this one feels like there's energy. It's longer. All right, and then we're gonna walk feet up onto the floor. Let your low back drop down. Let's just give a little hug in of the knees. And a little rock from side to side. And then we're going to take it to the other side. So if you're doing a seated wide leg fold, you're going to fold over the opposite leg, which is most likely your left leg, but maybe it's not. So we're just changing sides. So strap around the foot if you've got a strap. Oh, I didn't tell you this part. So if you have a strap but it's really hurting your neck, you can try, this is a little bit too short, I have to lengthen it, but you can try to tuck it also under your shoulder. So you want to get it like really under the shoulder blade. And you can use your arm to hold that leg in place. You can also do it across, so if it works better, you can do it on the opposite arm as well. So just an option if you feel like your neck was getting a little bit too much attention. And then we're going to breathe. So again, just this sense of letting go, letting that tightness, tension flow up out of the leg, let it release out of your foot. Maybe there's a bigger breath. So again, maybe you're going to move your arms a little bit. Letting go. you can hear that. There's little ones running around upstairs. All right, we're gonna let this side go. So again, if you got the strap, really any way you like to take it off is fine. I just like to take it off my head first and then the foot. And then just let the leg come on down. Notice how it feels. Let's see if we can bring our feet onto the floor. We'll let that low back drop down into the floor here. We're gonna pull the knees in. And if happy baby seems right, you can grab hold of your feet, let your feet pull in together. And then separate the feet, letting the soles point up. Breathe out. Let your feet come on down, let your legs lengthen out again, arms come past your head. So let's put a little pressure onto the shoulders. So arms overhead, we're gonna walk the feet up onto the floor. Lift the hips up off the floor. And we're just gonna let our hips shift so that we're shifting the pressure on the shoulders. They're just kind of shifting from side to side, wiggling around, massaging out the shoulders. Well, really the upper back, right? So we're getting into the whole upper back. I'm breathing. And then come on down. We're gonna roll it over into a Sphinx pose. So gently coming over onto the abdomen. So I find even just being flat, head of my hands, can be really helpful for hips and lower back. So if you feel like at some point you don't want to be in lower arms, I probably won't be for the whole time. You can certainly be flat. All right, let's see. I don't love to do this pose for super long, so let's try 3 minutes here. So you're just resting on your lower arms. So we're getting this little bend in the lower back. So it's a little bit above the sacrum, but still we're trying to get that energy to flow freely through the spine. See if you can soften into it. And so just anywhere where you can feel sensation. So I can feel sensation really like all through the pelvic area. So through the sacrum, into the hips, the front of my hips, my low back. So maybe imagine an orange color just flowing through that whole area. So whatever color of orange is appealing to you, hopefully you don't hate orange. But if you don't like orange, you can maybe visually see what other color kind of comes to you for that area. So again, people are telling us that orange is the color of the sacrum. So maybe for you, you see something different. But if you find, I love orange, so if you find orange helpful color. So it is an energetic color. Again, we're trying to get this energy to flow, this creativity to release. But you might have a soft orange, you might have a really intense orange color in your mind. All right, and then we're just gonna slide it right into a half frog. You're just gonna bring that right knee up to about hip height. Your left leg stays out straight. You can stay on your lower arms here, but maybe it's time to come on down and just rest your head on your arms. And so just noticing, right, I can feel that tightness all through my whole hip joint there. Feel free to move the leg around if you need to. Just imagine anything that's stuck there in that hip. Imagine that releasing out. All right, we're gonna straighten out this leg. So I've been on the belly for quite a while now. You may be feeling like you want to come up and maybe stretch your back a little bit. So you can pass through a cobra, pressing into your hands, pulling your elbows in and down, and then you can come backward into a child's pose. All right, we're gonna come back onto the belly. So changing legs, we're gonna bring left leg up to about hip height, half frog. So breathing out any of that tightness and tension that you're feeling. So you can see my leg there. Boo boo. And again, you can choose where you want to be. So if you were flatter on that first side, maybe you're going to rest on your arms for a little bit. Breathing all the way into the belly. And so we're just pulling up. All right, so maybe it's this is how you're breathing, right? So your belly is going to come into really like the front of, so it's going to connect up to the sacrum. Right, so it's going to be in front of the sacrum. Your belly is you're breathing into. You're breathing all the way down into that lower abdomen. You're imagining that you're breathing all the way down into your lower abdomen. And so then as though you're like pulling up from the sacrum, releasing all of the old stuff out. Releasing out those little subconscious things that are holding us back. this leg. All right, so if you are loose enough, we can try to just do a little quick full frog. We're gonna press into the hands. Come on into our cobra. We're gonna come up into child's pose. All right, so two-legged frog. Not the greatest thing to do on a blanket, especially if your inner legs are tight. You don't really want your legs to be sliding out from under you if things are tight. So a yoga mat is better, trying to have something a little bit sticky to hold your legs in place. But I'm gonna give this a roll and see what happens. So we just like we had, right? We had those knees up at about hip height. We're not gonna end up in the exact same position, most of us, with both knees. But you're just starting from hands and knees, and you're trying to take your knees out wide, so you're getting onto those inner knees. So you're on hands and knees, you're gonna let your knees slide out wide. And then you're working on, pushing those hips back towards your heels. So you don't want to be forward, just like it's like a child's pose where you've taken your legs out to the side. You want to push your hips backward towards your heels. So if it's intense, you can try bringing your feet closer together to make it a little less intense. If it's not so intense, then you can start trying to move those feet out. So again, it's a little bit more like that shape of the leg that we had in a half frog. Intense but good. And I'm sliding, so I'm going to bring my feet in. I'm going to draw my knees in. So I push into my arms a little bit, pull my knees in, and back into a child's pose. Yeah, so coming out, pressing into your hands or your elbows, and like lifting up a little bit, pulling your knees in can help. I should have said that sooner. Hopefully you're not stuck there. All right, we're gonna move on to our backs. We're gonna work on quads. I'm getting cold, so I'm gonna grab my blanket. So coming onto your back. So this is the basic shape that we're gonna take, right? Is this, like our knees are to the side, and we're trying to maybe draw this foot back a little bit. So this is the shape of the legs, but you're gonna be all the way back on your back. So by letting this inner leg hang down, you're working through the top of the thigh. So you can do your right leg. So if you let your knees drop to the left, I said I was cold. Using that as a pillow is not gonna help to keep me warm. So letting your legs drop to the left, you're gonna work on your right leg. So if you can get in a little bit deeper, that foot can come all the way up close to your hip. If it's too much, you're gonna let those knees draw closer together. Maybe straighten out that leg a little bit more. So as always, we wanna play with what's happening. Yesterday, everything was so tight. I don't even know what I did to myself. But everything was so tight and uncomfortable. Thank God today things are functioning a little bit better. So your right leg, left leg can kind of be anywhere you want. So at this moment I'm feeling like I want my foot on the floor, but you can have both legs down. Left leg could be straight. So yesterday I could not do this pose at all. The first one we did leg hammock, no way was that happening. Everything was just in lockdown. So it feels good to be able to be in a place where I can let the rest of that, whatever that was, that gook, that emotional gook stuck in my body, I think was a lot of it, out. So keep breathing. This one's really intense. Be mindful of your knees. So if it's too long, let yourself come on out. Or again, maybe you just need to adjust. Maybe you need to let that leg straighten for a little bit and then bring it back. So it's never about being in the pose. It's never about the amount of time that you're in the pose. It's always about what can we release out, right? How can we make ourselves feel better? So we're doing whatever little things we need to do just to feel better. So maybe I can release out by straightening my leg and letting some of that energy flow out that way, and then coming back in if that feels appropriate. And where can you let go? This leg, slow and easy, let it slide on out. Take your time. Maybe just let both legs be straight. If you feel like you need your low back to be on the floor, you can have feet on the floor. So if you feel like you need that little low back stretch, I typically like to start with legs straight and then pull them up. Oh, yeah, that was an intense pose. So I often need to go really, really slowly after that one. And just take my time and then try to let the low back flatten out into the floor. Breathing. And then you might even pull your knees in. You maybe stretch your legs up into the air. Take it to the other side. So letting your feet come on down. We're gonna let the knees drop to the right. So we're focusing on the left leg. And we're just looking for where does that left leg need to go. Ooh. All right, that one's tight. So breathing if it's really tight. But yeah, we're looking for, what's just intense, uncomfortable, and what's painful. So painful, we're listening to that, we're changing, we're getting out of there, backing up, whatever you need to do. But if it's just that it's a little bit intense, but it feels like it's the right kind of intensity, then we're working on that breath. So again, your right leg can be anywhere you want it to be. Letting go. And then slowly let this leg come on out. Noticing, where do you need to go? Do you want both feet on the floor here? Do you want your legs to be straight? If it feels right, you can pull your knees in. And a little happy baby. Alright, let's just do a little twist. We're gonna let our legs drop over to the right, arms out at about shoulder height. Big full breath. Let the knees come back to the middle and bring them over to the left side. Whew. I can feel that both in my shoulder and through my hip here. And then we're going to come all back to the middle. Let the knees pull in for a moment, and then we're going to take it into Shavasana. So wherever you feel like you want to be for your Shavasana, I'm going to cover myself up a little bit more. Wherever you're feeling comfortable today, myself cushion this in the block. So letting go. Maybe again imagining that color orange. And this sense of energy just flowing effortlessly through you. Take a deep inhale and release it out. Notice how you are. I could just stay here a little longer. So you might choose to do that. Or you might choose to work your way up into a seated position. All right. Hands wherever you're comfortable today. I need to rub mine together. It's so chilly in here. All right, I think we're gonna put them on the heart just for warmth. Take a nice full inhale. Exhale it out. All right, everything feels a little more fluid now. Thank you for being here and sharing in this practice today. Namaste.